Zak Brown doubles down on previous Max Verstappen statement. Helmut Marko reveals factor that helped them win. Lewis Hamilton's contract clause could make it difficult for him to settle at Ferrari. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. McLaren CEO Zak Brown believes that several drivers competing in the F1 2024 championship could achieve the world championship if they were in Max Verstappen's Red Bull car. Verstappen has established himself as a dominant force in the world of Formula One. As the reigning three-time world champion, he has emerged victorious in 49 out of the last 73 races, dating back to his first championship-winning season in 2021. Brown acknowledges the importance of the car in Verstappen's success. The Dutch driver secured his fifth win of the 2024 season at the recent Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, finishing just 0.725 seconds ahead of McLaren's Lando Norris. The McLaren team boasts one of the strongest driver lineups in the current field, with Norris and Oscar Piastri forming a successful partnership over the past year. There have been rumors of McLaren considering Adrian Newey, following Red Bull's announcement that the highly respected designer will depart from the team in early 2025. Newey has played a significant role in the success of Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. When asked about the importance of a star designer versus a star driver, Brown emphasized the value of both. He claimed that nearly half of the current grid could secure the world championship with Verstappen's car. In a conversation on the F1 Beyond the Grid podcast, Brown stated, "Ultimately, you need both. A star driver is essential for victory, but it all begins with the car. People frequently ask whether it's the car or the driver that determines success. I believe it's both. However, I estimate that there are approximately 6 or 7 drivers on the grid who could become world champions if they were driving for Red Bull," he continued. Despite Max's extraordinary talent, I don't think he would be the world champion today if he were driving any other car than the Red Bull. Sergio Perez, an exceptional racing driver who has proven his ability to challenge Max on certain occasions, highlights the difference. So, in the end, you need both, especially as Formula One becomes more competitive. Max is doing an incredible job, but look at the intense competition from drivers in positions 2, 3, 4, and 5. The positions are constantly shifting. As the cars become more evenly matched, it is the driver who will make the difference. Ultimately, having both elements is crucial. After Norris came close to securing his second Grand Prix victory at Imola, just weeks after his debut win in Miami, the 24-year-old driver expressed his belief that the driver's skills play a significant role in the close battle at the front, which mainly involves Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari. Norris commented, "It all depends on your driving, to be honest. In qualifying, we are all very closely matched. If it weren't for Max's slipstream from Nico Hülkenberg, we would have been ahead. Additionally, without Oscar's penalty for impeding Kevin Magnussen in Q1, we could have secured a 1-2 on the grid. So in terms of qualifying performance, we had the best car." He further added, "During the race, it's more about the driver than the car. Push too hard and you wear out the tires, go too slow and you fall behind. It all comes down to the driver's judgment and finding the right balance. You can't simply say one car was faster and the other was slower. The competition is tight, and when the gaps are within 1/10 of a second during qualifying, it's hard to say that one driver was significantly better than another. I hope this close competition continues because it's thrilling, challenging, and gets everyone excited every weekend." Red Bull's senior advisor, Helmut Marko, expressed that it has been a considerable amount of time since they faced such a challenging situation. He specifically credited Max Verstappen for their triumph at Imola. Following Lando Norris's surprising victory in Miami, with his heavily upgraded McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston Martin all aimed to respond with their own upgrade packages at Imola. However, Red Bull and Verstappen encountered a rocky start to the proceedings. During practice, they failed to secure a top 3 position and entered qualifying with doubts about their ability to compete for pole. Verstappen was content with making it to the top 5 initially, but he managed to claim pole position, maintaining an impeccable 100% record in F1 2024. On race day, the championship leader secured the win, holding off Norris's determined late effort for back-to-back victories. Marko emphasized that Red Bull has Verstappen to thank for snatching that triumph. Marko spoke to De Telegraph about Verstappen's win at Imola and expressed his admiration. "It's truly impressive to witness. Max does not even make the slightest mistake despite the immense pressure he faces from behind. We owe this victory to him, especially because he secured pole position on Saturday." For instance, had we started third on the grid, winning would have been out of the question. During Norris's late challenge in the race, Marco admitted to feeling concerned, recalling a few critical moments that prevented Norris from getting within DRS range of Verstappen. With a smile, Marco remarked, "If there are more races like this, I'll only feel older." He explained that the tires they used, particularly the hard compound, experienced a drop in temperature after a few laps, affecting their speed. Fortunately, Norris had some moments that hindered his ability to utilize the DRS system in the final laps. However, McLaren's progress at Imola has instilled confidence that their MCL38 can continue to pose a threat to Red Bull's RB20 in upcoming races. Red Bull, having won most of the Grand Prix held during F1's ground effect era, now finds themselves in choppy waters after a long time, struggling to find the right balance over one lap and during race runs at Imola. Sergio Perez, Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull, conceded the second spot in the Drivers' Championship to Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, following his P8 finish at Imola. This change occurred just before Leclerc's home race, the Monaco Grand Prix. If you've watched the video this far, consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like. Lewis Hamilton has acknowledged that he is acquainted with only 2 members of Ferrari's racing team as he prepares for his much-anticipated move to the Scuderia for the F1 2025 season. Despite this, he does not view it as a significant concern. Earlier this year, Hamilton surprised the F1 world by revealing his decision to join Ferrari on a multi-year contract, thereby concluding his long and successful tenure with Mercedes. This will only be the second time the 7-time world champion has switched teams throughout his illustrious career. He previously made the transition from McLaren to Mercedes in 2013. Hamilton shares a positive rapport with Ferrari's team principal, Fred Vasseur, who served as the head of ART Grand Prix during his championship-winning GP2, now F2 season in 2006. He also enjoys a cordial relationship with John Elkann, the Ferrari chairman, who apparently initiated contact with Hamilton about a potential move to Maranello 1 year ago. In February, it was disclosed by PlanetF1.com that Hamilton's Mercedes contract contains a no-poaching clause, preventing him from directly influencing Mercedes staff to follow him to Ferrari. Despite this contractual restriction, Ferrari recently announced the signings of Loic Serra as the head of chassis performance engineering and Jerome D'Ambrosio as the deputy team principal. These acquisitions, however, were unrelated to Hamilton's decision to join the Scuderia. During the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, Hamilton spoke to the media, expressing that he is acquainted with only 2 individuals from Ferrari's current workforce, Serra and Jacques Clear, his previous performance engineer at Mercedes from 2013 to 2014. Nonetheless, he perceives no issues as he prepares for his move to Maranello. He stated, "When I joined Mercedes, I didn't know anyone, and that was perfectly fine. Personally, I don't believe it will make a significant difference to me. But of course, I have had a great working relationship with Loic for many, many years, and my former number 2 engineer, Jacques, now works with that team. So I would say those are the only 2 individuals I know particularly well, along with Fred." It should be noted that despite his prior collaboration with Hamilton, Clear reportedly shares a close bond with Charles Leclerc, Hamilton's future teammate at Ferrari for the F1 2025 season. Clear has been serving as Leclerc's driver coach since the latter's arrival at Ferrari in 2019. During the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in November, which took place 2 months before Hamilton's transfer to Ferrari was announced, he discussed his relationship with Elkann and Vasseur. Hamilton revealed that he initially met Elkann several years ago at a Google camp in Italy. He told media outlets including PlanetF1.com, "I know John really well. We met years ago at the Google camp. Our friendship began when I attended a Google camp in Sicily, and we have remained in touch ever since. I have known Fred since 2005, and we have always had an excellent relationship. We used to talk frequently, especially after he joined Formula One. We stayed in touch even after I left his team, although the level of communication naturally decreased as I moved to Formula One and there was less interaction with the Formula 2 series." Hamilton continued, stating, "But since Fred returned to Formula One, we have met and had more conversations. We even traveled together with Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team boss. That essentially sums up the extent of our connections." Andretti Racing Team has made a significant move by appointing Pat Symonds as their new addition, a former chief technical officer of Formula One. The news broke on Tuesday that Symonds had concluded his 7-year tenure in Formula One, during which he played a pivotal role in shaping the sport's 2022 rule changes and the transition to ground effect cars. At almost 71 years old, Symonds was anticipated to retire from Formula One. However, in a surprising turn of events, Andretti Racing Team has now confirmed his acquisition. After completing his gardening leave at Formula One management, Symonds will commence work at the team's new facility in Silverstone. Michael Andretti, the global chairman and CEO of Andretti Racing Team, expressed his utmost excitement about bringing Pat into their racing family. He enthusiastically emphasized Symonds' exceptional understanding of aerodynamics, vehicle dynamics, and Formula One power units, recognizing their crucial role in building a competitive team. Andretti believes that Symonds has significantly influenced the narrative of Formula One, making his decision to join their efforts deeply meaningful and encouraging. Adding to the enthusiasm, Nick Chester, the Andretti Cadillac technical director, shared his positive experience of working with Pat in the past and acknowledged his extensive knowledge, expecting it to benefit the team's technical areas and overall operations. As an executive engineering consultant, Symonds will play a vital role in their team's development. Despite facing resistance from existing teams and having their initial application declined by the sport's commercial rights holders, Andretti Racing Team has remained steadfast in their pursuit of joining the Formula One grid. They recently established a base in Silverstone, the renowned host of the British Grand Prix, and have already commenced hiring for up to 60 positions. In a recent interview, Mario Andretti, the 1978 world champion, shared their team's renewed optimism about securing a place on the grid. He expressed satisfaction with the progress on all fronts, highlighting the official opening of their facility in Silverstone. Mario Andretti conveyed optimism through their diligent work, seeking to meet all the necessary requirements and demonstrate their seriousness to the project. With General Motors backing the endeavor, he stressed the importance of having an American manufacturer enter Formula One for the first time, considering the significant exposure of the sport in the United States. Mario Andretti remains positive and hopeful about the outcome of their ongoing discussions and face-to-face meetings with Formula One decision-makers, indicating that progress has been made. Mercedes acknowledges that it's time to change its approach to upgrades in Formula One. They have come to realize that there is no magical solution that will instantly propel them to the front of the pack. Instead, they are focusing on a new development direction for their upcoming update package. Their goal is to achieve a better balance for their car, both in high-speed and low-speed corners. While the team initially aimed to have the new components ready for the Canadian Grand Prix next month, there is a possibility that they might be introduced in Monaco if they are completed ahead of schedule. Lewis Hamilton has expressed some optimism about the potential progress that could be made with these changes. He has already tested them out in the team's simulator. In the past couple of years, Mercedes has had several disappointments with upgrades that failed to deliver long-term performance gains. However, this time, there seems to be a genuine belief that things are different. Team principal Toto Wolff attributes this change in attitude to the acceptance that a single-step solution won't transform their pace. Instead, they are focusing on consistent progress. Wolff explains that the incremental gains they are achieving are bringing the car closer to a better balance, ultimately improving its performance. It's not about a miraculous upgrade, but rather the accumulation of several small improvements. While their competitors are also making progress, Mercedes is confident that they are on the right path. Previously, they made the mistake of thinking that there was a magic bullet solution, but recent races have provided clear indications that the car's performance was either good in high-speed or low-speed situations, but never both simultaneously. However, now they are slowly eliminating this discrepancy. What sets Mercedes apart now is that they finally have a clear direction to follow. In the past, they seemed to be zigzagging without a definitive plan. This led to disappointments and false hopes. However, there is currently more confidence within the team due to their improved understanding of the situation. Despite this newfound confidence, Mercedes recognizes that nothing in the sport is guaranteed. They acknowledge that their current performance is not up to par, and Toto Wolff's frustration is evident. They simply need to do a better job and make the necessary improvements. In addition to the strategy changes, Mercedes has also introduced a new biplane beam wing layout. This new design features a traditional lower element and an upper element that is contorted across its span. This configuration allows the wing to generate downforce in the central section while efficiently offloading it as it meets with the end plate. Thanks for watching, and big thanks for the support, everyone. If you want to support the channel even further, you can now become a channel member and get even more value from my content.